and she is today here to keep you with all the insights that she can. What could be, resume building tips, what could be your roadmap to get shortlisted, what are the tips for interview, what you should how you can map your existing skills with the job profile that you're applying for, and of course live Q&A with her. And having said that, I think she is already among us. Hey Alka, if you can hear me. Hi, am I audible to everyone? I just want to check that.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, okay, okay, great, great, Alka. So you have the host access as well. Oh, I just
Yeah,
saw your message. Yeah.
just
So,
check for the other one as well. I have joined from the other profile as
sure, sure, sure. So, Alka, promote balance. Yes, that
yeah.
should be done in a second. So, just before that, we jump into the session. I just want you all to do an activity where you can drop in the chat box what you all are expecting in today's session, and what all personas you are coming from, so that Alka will be able to understand her audience in a better manner. And with that, now I can see you, Alka. You are audible and visible as well. So I think we should start. It's already 7:02, and now I would like to hand it over to you.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. I hope I'm completely clear and audible, everybody. Yes or a no? Yes. Am I audible? Okay, perfect. So quickly, before we start the session, can you all tell me what is your expectation when you hear the title of the webinar saying that switch from a non-tech role to a data analytics background? How many of you actually are in this field? How many of you are actually looking for a change? Can you quickly tell me what are your expectations from this profile or from this webinar, so that I can tell you how you can switch to the profile, how you can, get started, etc. Yeah. Quickly, a little bit about your background, non-tech, tech. What is the intent for you to join this webinar? Okay, I can see some of the responses, but before that, let me quickly share my screen. Uh, a quick introduction about me. Thank you all for joining. And I'm currently working as a senior manager for all the AI division at Unilever. And I have close to 11 years of experience in data science, AI, machine learning. I have been training for 6 years. I have been in this field when data scientist was not even a buzzword. I have worked with some of the core analytics companies like Bridge I2I, latent view analytics. I have worked in supply chain analytics with Schneider Electric. I have worked in the FMCG sector. Uh, okay, so somebody has said that they're working in beverages industry. So I have also worked with AB InBev, and I've also uh, worked with a lot of use cases where we are talking about the FMCG space. So good. Switch your career to data analyst. Okay, something new. Okay, career switch, non-tech person. Okay, Aisha. Then they're saying non-tech background, want to switch for more salary as well. Okay, data engineer, wish to get a better hike. Okay, that's good. So people who are data engineers or people who are already in the field of data, obviously there is a lot of scope to get higher salaries in this field. So you are at the right place. But if you're a data engineer, I would suggest you to opt for a big data engineer profile. That's where the maximum demand and the money is. Okay. 55, Prashant. Wow, non-tech with 3 decades experience. How do I make this transition post this course? So I would suggest people who have more than 10 years of experience or 15 years of experience, it doesn't matter. you have to start somewhere, because right now everything in fact in your phones, in your Netflix accounts, YouTube accounts, everywhere there is AI. So there is no escaping the fact that you have to upskill yourself in AI, whether you want to transition or not. So I would strongly suggest that please understand how AI works, what machine learning is, understand the buzzwords, because this is something that will keep you updated for the next 10-15 years of your lives. And if you're not there, it means that you'll be lagging. uh, okay, cool. So I think more detailed information, I get that. Thank you so much all for your responses. A quick, guideline as to how we'll be doing this webinar. Please put your questions on Q&A section. You have a Q&A section below. Please post your questions on the Q&A section. And whatever I'm asking you during the webinar, that has to be done via the chat. Okay? That would be helpful. Currently working in telecom sector, 2 years of experience switching. Okay, so most of you want to switch, some of you want to learn, some of you are from a non-tech role, some of you are from a technical role. Okay, so I get it. Everybody, I think, where do I start? I will definitely cover all of that. Okay. So first of all, what do you need to learn in data analytics? Isn't it? That should be the first question. What do you need to learn so that you're able to switch your career in data analytics? That should be your first question. What are the skills that you need to learn in the data science field? What have you heard? What type of skills are required? Don't know. Okay. Yeah, some of you are answering it correctly. Power BI, Python, statistics, SQL. Yes, very good. Python libraries like pandas, ML. Okay, very good. So some of you have idea about what is required. Now, in data science field, there are various topics based on what profile you're opting for. Okay, so there are different profiles in data science. It's not like that this just data engineer or a data scientist or a machine learning engineer. There are various other options as well. Okay, so I will explore what are your options and then how you can switch. So let's begin the webinar, and let's go straight into, this I've already, in fact, given you a little bit background about myself. This is just a general introduction. I am currently working where I have been recognized as the top 10 data scientist in India. The reason I'm telling you this is please trust me when I'm giving you advice. It's based on more than 10 years of experience and a lot of struggle. Okay, it's not going to be easy. Trust me, there are so much that you need to do. But if you have the intent to learn, then I think you are in the right space. And if you have a data acumen or a data interest in the data side of things, you are definitely going to do very well in this field. Okay, I have trained more than 6,000 people globally over the last few years, and I have trained and mentored even more. Okay, so cool. So let's understand where to start. Okay, so first of all, you have to understand what are the skills required for each of the profiles in data science. What are the skills required? So for somebody who is in a non-tech role, non-tech role means they do not have experience on Python, they have no computer science experience, they're doing something in business, anything, but it's probably non-tech. Okay, if you're somebody who is in a non-tech role, or even if you're somebody in a technical role, but not in the data science field, then there are two options that you can opt for, or two profiles that you can go for. One is the data analyst profile, and second is the business analyst profile. Okay. Now, data analyst profile is suited for people who want to become or go into coding later. Very, very coding intensive. Okay. If you like coding, this is the profile for you. With data analyst, you can later have an advanced data science profile, which is a data scientist profile. Okay. Uh, have you heard about data scientist profile, machine learning engineer profile? How many of you have heard about it? Have you heard about data science profile? Yeah, data scientist, please don't put it in the Q&A section, guys. Please put it in the chat section. Q&A section is only for questions. Okay, please do not put your chat, whatever I'm asking in the Q&A side. I can see some of you have put that. Okay, what other profiles have you heard of? What other profiles? Machine learning engineer. Have you heard about machine learning engineer? Have you heard about computer vision? Have you heard about Gen AI? Yes. What is Gen AI? Generative AI. How have you ever used it? Anybody? Oh, you're an AI engineer. Okay, AI engineer. You've heard about AI engineer. Okay. Yes. I was recently at an AI workshop in IIT Bombay. Okay. Okay, no problem. So most of you are saying that you've heard, some of you have not heard. Then let me just tell you that what are the profiles. So this a data scientist, ML engineer, which is basically a machine learning engineer. Then you have AI engineer. Okay. Nowadays you have an AI architect also. Your profiles are evolving. Then you have big data engineer. You have analytics consultant. Okay. So these are some of the profiles. Along with that, you have profiles like, data analyst, business analyst, right? Data engineer. Okay, so these are some of the profiles. Now, of course, this will mean different things to different organizations, but you can broadly categorize into these categories. Now, coming to data analyst. So what do you need as a data analyst? I'll just cover it one by one. So hold your questions for some time. Okay, I'll come back to your questions, guys. Just give me some time to explain so that I am not deviated from what I'm trying to cover. So data analyst, you need first, how do you get the data from database? What is data analytics? Data analytics is analyzing the data to get some meaningful information, isn't it? What is data analytics? Data analytics is analyzing the data to get some meaningful information, isn't it? So why are we talking about data analytics now? Why are we talking about data analytics now? Okay, let me help you understand what is data analytics. First, tell me, what is data? Let me see how many of you are able to explain. What is data? How would you define data? Very simple question. All of us talk about data analytics, data scientist, data engineer. All of this, we are talking about data day in and day out. But if somebody asks you, what is data? How are you going to define it? Forget data science and all that. Can somebody help me understand what is data? And I'm telling you, very important thing. Trust me, it is going to be so crucial in your interviews or in your life, whenever, even if you're not appearing for interviews. Very simple question. What is data? You are here for a data science webinar. Data is not information. Okay? Data is not information. Processed data is information. So data is not information. Then what is data? Data about data is metadata. Okay, so that is also not data's definition. What is the definition of data? Abhishek is saying it's an unprocessed information that is collected through observations. Okay, I'll give you that. Very close, very good definition. In fact, it can be taken into account. Data is facts and figures. That's it. Somebody saying it's just facts and figures. Raw fact. No. If I say data information is processed data, don't say that data is unprocessed information. Okay, don't use information. Raw information, facts that can be okay. Data is a collection of things. So some of you are right. Okay, ordered information, no, it's definitely not ordered. So unprocessed, raw. Okay, but then you'll say data. You can't say data, right? You cannot use data in the definition of data. So how do you define it? Are you understanding? Such a simple such a simple word, but it's so difficult for us to define it. Imagine what is going to happen in interviews, or if you're trying to switch or let's say you're trying to explain it to somebody when you have upskilled yourself in this field, and just somebody asks you, hey, you've done this course on, data science, and probably somebody who is well versed in statistics will, ask you the simple question, can you define data for me? And imagine how difficult it is. Only I think two, three out of you are close enough to that definition, but still not complete. So, what is data? Unstructured description which define quantity and quality. Okay, not so much. Data is a collection of facts. Okay, very good. So, Prashant is right. Somewhere you're coming close, Prashant, to the definition, but it just misses one thing. In fact, all of you are just missing one thing. Data earlier, in fact, in your if you Google definition of data, you'll find the same results. But the definition of data has evolved over time. Data is any raw collection of facts and figures. This was the traditional definition, right? Any raw collection of facts and figures that can be stored, okay, that can be stored and processed. This was, what the traditional definition was. But now it has evolved. Any raw collection, of course, statistics also over here. Okay. Any raw collection of facts, figures, statistics, symbols that can be stored and processed. Data can be in structured, okay, or you can say any raw collections that can be in the form of structured, semi-structured, or unstructured format. You have to include this. Why? Because when we say structured data, what is structured data? Structured data is something that you can store in row and column format, something that you can store in rows and columns, that is structured. What is semi-structured? Semi-structured is something that you cannot store in a row and column format. You cannot store in an Excel, but it still has some structure around it. So anything that you store in Excel is structured. Anything which is structured but not row and column like JSON, your XMLs, all of this is semi-structured. Your unstructured data is videos, text, images. Are you understanding? Sound. Anything which is not a structured data is basically something which is just videos, text, images, sound, which you cannot store in a row and column format, and there is no structure to it. Are you understanding this? Somebody said in the chat that it could be data about data. Metadata. Metadata actually falls under quasi-structured. I didn't want to complicate it, but you will find it in some books. Quasi-structured is another type of data that we usually consider, right? But if somebody asks you, what is data? Data is any raw collection of facts, figures, statistics, symbols that can be stored and processed. It can be in structured, semi-structured, or unstructured format. That is the complete definition of data. Given that we have evolved so much in terms of processing videos, text, images, and sound. Okay. Now this is data. So what is data science? Quick definitions. What is data science? Data science is okay. Now, when we say analyze, it could mean different things, right? It could mean uh, data wrangling. It means data visualization. It could mean different things, isn't it? So data visualization, right? Databases, your ETLs, extract, transform, load, then your data analysis tools or data analysis with Python, Excel, any kind of aggregation, which we call it data manipulation or data wrangling. Okay, any kind of data aggregation, all that is part of the analysis and also showing it. So visualization, okay, I've already covered. So Data science is nothing but working with data, analyzing data to get some meaningful information. Now, the way that you can do this is in many ways. It could be done in many ways, right? It could be done in the form of, let's say, graphs and charts in Python. That is one of the way of doing it. You can do it in tools like Power BI. Power BI is what? Power BI and Tableau are visualization tools. That means these tools are specifically designed to create charts and graphs that tell you what is happening, let's say year on your growth of your market or your company, which products are performing well. Let's say if you are working with PepsiCo, which flavors of Frito-Lays is, getting sold more. So it gives you a comprehensive executive summary of your entire portfolio, of your entire products, of your entire region, country, whatever level you want it. It is helpful for you to get the story and understand how is your business performing via graphs and charts. That is called, that is done via tools like Power BI and Tableau. Next, you have yeah, so data science is covered. Now then you can do it via machine learning. You can also do it via machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine learning is the ability of the machines to learn like human beings do and then predict outcomes even without explicitly being programmed to do so. What is the difference between traditional software engineering and machine learning? Okay, so machine learning, graphs, charts, and you can do it via AI. So you can also do data engineering, DE. I'm just mentioning what all you can do. So all these are ways or these are sub branches of the entire field of data science. So when we say data science, we are referring to data engineering, we're referring to machine learning, we're referring to Power BI, we are referring to Tableau, we are referring to graphs, charts, and everything. Now, coming to what is machine learning and how is it different from traditional software engineering? Okay, so I'm talking about traditional, or let me go here itself. Traditional software engineering and machine learning. What is the difference between the two? I am explaining machine learning. Okay, so what is machine learning and what is traditional software engineering? In traditional software engineering, you tell the program or you tell the Python or any language for that matter, C, C++, Java, you can use anything. And you can create anything. You can create a front end, you can create a back end, whatever you want to do, you can do it. But you create rules, set of rules, right? You take the inputs, you say rules, this is my rules, and this is my output, right? And what could be the rules looking like? If salary is between 10,000 and salary is less than equal to 20,000, right? Print you are poor. Something like this. So you will have condition based, you will have loops where you know that this will be the condition and this will be the outcome. But machine learning is not like that. The definition of machine learning says that the ability of the machine to learn of the machine learn give you result even without being explicitly programmed. Explicitly means specifically programmed to do so. Okay, that means you're not giving rules to machine learning. Machine learning is basically helping you understand. Let's say if you say, what will happen if the weather is 40 degrees Celsius? Will it rain? Okay, so you can ask questions that are not even there in the historical data. It's not there in any conditions. The machine will understand the pattern and it will still give you or predict the output without you explicitly programming it to do so based on rules. That is machine learning. And AI, what is AI? AI is a branch of machine learning where you primarily work with unstructured data. Why I'm saying unstructured data? When I talk about AI, it means doing things which human beings are good at doing. Okay, human beings are good at doing. For example, human beings are very good at interpreting natural language. Human beings are very good at, if you show some, if you show a picture to a human being and say, what is it? A human will be able to understand it. If you show a video to a human being, you'll be able to understand because you know what is happening in that video. Same thing we want the machine to understand. If I show a picture to a machine, it should be able to identify whether it's a cat or a dog. What am I talking about in the video? What is the meaning of the text? Can I respond to you like a human being does based on the outcome and your response? Okay, so anything which the human beings are good at doing, that is AI. And generally, we work with unstructured data in AI. Generally, you can still work with structured data, but when we talk about AI, it's mostly related to unstructured data. Hopefully, it's clear. Traditional engineering, machine learning, AI, is machine learning requires a lot of data for prediction or not? It depends, right? What you're trying to do. It doesn't mean you need a lot of data. Of course, the data quality also matters, but you can also work with the data that you have. So it's not mandatory. It depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to predict? Are you trying to forecast? Are you trying to just analyze? Just depends. Okay. So this is your AI machine learning. So now understand what you need to learn from here. When you are wanting to switch to a data science kind of a profile, right? You will have to learn what? The first thing that you have to learn is SQL, because you need to fetch the data first, only then you're going to do anything with the data, isn't it? Data science is all about data. First thing you need to know is how do you get that data to analyze? Do you even have that data? So, any profile in the data science space, be it data scientist, data analyst, business analyst, you need to know SQL for sure. Okay, there's nothing you can do without SQL. Any database language is definitely required. Second, you have to learn statistics. When I refer to as statistics, topics like measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, okay, association like causations. Then you need to learn probability and distributions. Okay, you need to learn what else? Inferential statistics, hypothesis testing. All this is required from a statistics standpoint. Then you need to learn maths. Okay, of course, you need to learn maths. So in maths, you need to know basics of algebra, okay, uh, differentiation, integration, matrices, determinants, etc. Determinants, logs, logarithms. You need to know basics of math. Okay, you cannot expect not to know these. You don't need to know everything, but these are some of the things that you need to know. Next is, uh, so this is completely common to all the data science profiles. So fourth is Excel also is required by all the profiles. SQL, statistics, maths, and Excel is required. And the fifth one is a visualization tool, which is Power BI or Tableau. This much is the base, absolutely necessary. Now, on top of this, you need to know if you're targeting a data scientist profile later or something like that. On top of this, you need to know machine learning. Now, machine learning is also a big branch, which is supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, right? Then you have forecasting, then you have recommendation systems. Okay. Within supervise also you have at least 10 different algorithms. All this have 10 different algorithms. Okay, so all this you need to learn. Then you need to learn AI, which is basically NLP, natural language processing, and also deep learning. Okay. Now, I have given you the list of whatever is required. Okay. So this data analyst profile, the data analyst profile that we're talking about requires these skills along with basics of machine learning is fine. Along with basics of machine learning will give you a good idea about and will help you become a data analyst. Okay. Apart from that, if you're there are there is a lot of competition, so of course you would need to do something extra. So for that, you can also learn cloud technologies like AWS, because now we don't work on our local systems given that the size of the data is huge. So you generally work with one of these cloud technologies like AWS or Azure, etc. So you might need a little bit basics on that so that you're able to process data on the cloud and work on cloud. This is the requirement for a data analyst. Okay. Business analyst requires the same things, but a little less technical. Okay. Everything will be little less technical and more focus will be on the visualization side and domain side of things, domain knowledge. Okay, if somebody says, how does credit report works, probably a business analyst should know how a credit report works. Okay, then you have Excel. Excel is required by all of them, so nothing, no different from here. But Power BI, Tableau, a little bit more emphasis and little less emphasis on the technical side of things. So if you're somebody who loves to code and wants to code every single day and you want to code day and night, data analyst is the right profile for you. If you're somebody who wants to be in the data science field but not that technical, you want to control it, be a semi-technical, non-technical visualization side of um, the profile, then I think business analyst or BA is what I have written. Business analyst is the right profile for you. Now look at this list. Okay, how many things are required for you to become a data analyst or a business analyst? Which are your entry level careers in data science? You have to go through these careers if you want any advanced profiles later. How much time do you think it will take for you to learn all this? How much time do you think it will take for you to learn all this? I have spent 10 years. Okay, I have spent 10 years doing all this, and trust me, you need at least 6 months, at least 6 months of structured curriculum. If you start doing on your own, you will be all over the place. Because one thing in data science can be done in three ways. You will look at three different things and be confused as to how do you do it. So if you're serious about choosing this as a career, and you want to reach there in a standard time, okay, then please do it at least for 6 months, and I would recommend 12 months. Okay, 6 to 12 months of rigorous practice is required in a structure led format for you to be able to do it. Otherwise, statistics, math is so huge, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, along with basics of machine learning. It's so much that you will not even know how to start and where to start. Yes, non-tech people can also learn all the basics. So I'm getting a lot of questions on, what is the structure, where can I learn it from? So I think Coding Ninjas already has shared one link with you. If you would like to get some information around this, how does the fee structure work? How does, so experts like me are already associated with this where they can mentor you, help you do projects, okay, especially projects so that you can get started. Now, a lot of people say, I can always self learn. Think about it. Okay, and please, if only if you're interested, please fill your forms. Okay, and somebody, an expert like me or somebody expert from Coding Ninjas will help you understand the boot camp and all. But think about it just from a practical perspective. You are hiring people. Okay, very logically, you are hiring people and you have two resumes. Okay, resume one, you have resume two. You're shortlisting resume. This is a non-tech role, non-tech profile. This is a non-tech profile. You're hiring for a beginner entry level role in data science. So you don't expect the person to know a lot of things, but you do want a person to know some bit of things. Okay, both are non-tech profiles. This person probably has done something else. Okay, and he has put in his skills. He he has experience in Python. Okay, SQL and Python as a language you need to know. Okay, if I've not mentioned before, Python you need to know as a language. Python, SQL, he has mentioned Excel and statistics. Okay, he has mentioned it in his profile. The other person has also mentioned the same profiles, okay, which is same skills. So Python, SQL, Excel, stats. Okay. Along with that, he has 6 to 8 months certification added, formal study certification added on data science. And he has mentioned projects that he has done as part of the curriculum. Okay. If you have these two profiles, forget that whether this person knows a lot. Okay. Let's say that this person is very competent. He knows everything about data science. He can work on projects. He's very smart. Given that you have, and this person is just average in data science. Even after doing this course, he's average, and this person has learned on his own, spent 2 years, learning on his own, upskilling, and he's excellent in it. If you are somebody who is hiring and you have to shortlist one resume, which resumes will be the one that you're going to pick? I'm talking about just selecting a resume. R1 or R2? Which resume will you pick? R2, right? Everybody says R2. Obviously, right? It is logical. So I'm not saying this is the right way of doing it, but I'm saying this is the way that your profile will get shortlisted out of so many profiles. If everything is same in those two profiles, you will select somebody who has taken up a formal 6 to 12 months of course, because that shows that he is serious about it. Okay, he has devoted enough time on it, and he has added projects which could be helpful. So he has shown experience on what I'm hiring for. Of course, you will always prefer R2. That is the difference which a self study and a structured study will make you. Second thing is, if he would have spent 2 years, learning it, because self study will, I don't know how much time it will take, plus you'll be all over the place. Even if you structure it, it will still take at least 2 years. Whatever you do in 2 years can be done in 6 months in a structured way. If there is somebody to tell you, in statistics, hey, this is measures of central tendency, you need to know mean, median, mode. This is measures of dispersion, you need to know standard deviation, variance, interquartile range, all that. And then somebody says, correlation, covariance is required, this is how it works, this is formula. Next is inferential statistic, hypothesis testing, why do you do it, where is it applied in machine learning? Structured. You will be able to do in 6 months what somebody will do in 2 to 3 years. I have learned it the hard way, because when I started my career, I had nothing, right? And there was something called as R as a programming language, and the only courses available were on Coursera from somebody called as Andrew Ng. Search him. He's called the father of AI. Okay, only very very small limited courses that to on R, not very comprehensive, self study, learning statistics on my own, like learning the hard way. I took a lot of time, okay, and reached where I am today because I was self taught. Of course, I have done a formal study later, because I realized I myself have done a formal study later, because I know the value of a certification, even though I have been teaching for more than 6 years. I have also done that because I know that out of R1 and R2, R2 is something that people will always prefer. Okay, so just be a little mindful of that, and then make a choice accordingly. Any other questions? So you understand that these are the skills required. Okay, already the form is shared with you. If you want to understand uh, how it works, what is the course, what is the fee, all that, you can reach out and fill the form, and Coding Ninjas, somebody from Coding Ninjas will get in touch with you. Okay, now coming to the points in the resume, Python SQL. What are the steps? So this is not a resume session. I will cover what you can add in your resumes, but the first thing that you need to do is get the skills. You just can't add something in your resume if you don't know it, because you will have to justify it in the interview. Are you understanding, everybody? You will have to justify whatever you are putting in your resumes. So please be careful. You have to first get the skills. Yeah, so for projects also you need to, have this. It's not that I can suggest some projects just now. I can tell you that, why don't you do a project on linear regression, logistic regression, do one project on forecasting. But you need some guidance, right? Because the interviewer is going to ask you, where did you take the data from? How much was the size of the data? Is it a real data or not? All those questions will come to you. So for that, when you do a structured curriculum, you also do projects with the structured curriculum, which you will not find when you're doing self study. So that is my recommendation. Please take up a formal um, structured course so that you know what are the topics, you have somebody to guide you, you know how to do the projects. What kind of salary package is offered for non-tech people? 8 years of experience. Okay, so for anybody who is having slightly more experience, I would recommend you to go into a product manager or a project manager kind of a role in the analytics space. That is more suitable. Otherwise, you can also opt for business analytics or data analyst. Both of them are fine. The expected, initial salary is at least 6-7 lakhs per annum. It depends on your capability. 10 to 12 lakhs also you can get initially if you're good and you've worked hard. Okay, so salary is not a constraint at all. It's just that you have to gather the skills, show that you have experience, you have worked on projects, and then we can definitely crack very good initial salaries also. Yeah, so okay, one question is confidence is not there even though you're learning. Self-learning, if Ajay, if you're self-learning, please try to do it in a structured way. I understand what you're saying, that you do not have confidence because there's no structure, you want to switch. Add some skills, add some certifications, cover those topics, prepare interview questions, prepare your resume properly. All of that is going to help you with the data analyst interviews and getting the calls first and then cracking the interviews. Okay. Uh, what are the other questions? Beverage is okay. 2D rows and columns. Somebody has again put Q&A. A lot of people have put things in Q&A. Okay, don't put in Q&A, guys. Whenever I'm talking to you, put it on the chat. Okay. Collection of information. Career. Okay. There is one person who is saying, who has a career gap of 5 years. UPSC aspirant. MNC 3.5 years of work experience. Procurement. PGDM and project manager, where he has learned data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI. If I learn all the skills and knowledge, would a company consider a candidate? Why will they not? See, everything is possible. It's just that you might have to take a little bit of a longer route in terms of, maybe you'll have to select a medium-sized company, right? So there will be certain trade-offs, but I think it's doable, and you will get good salary package there, because especially in a city like Bangalore, which is full of startups, it will give you a very good chance to learn. So startups are not finicky about how many years of experience you have, how much career gap you have. All that doesn't matter, especially Bangalore, where you are having so many startups, right? And you get a lot of learning in startups. When I started my career in 2014, 2015 in data science, I was working with a very small company which was latent view analytics. They only did analytics, and it was a very quick, learning curve from there, because you get exposed to a lot of things, and of course, you also work hard there. So I would suggest, don't worry, everything is possible. It's just that you'll have to put in the work and effort, and why not? Okay, Python is also required. Yes, Can we get the entire blueprint from start and what to start in suitable sequence? Yes, so I have given you the sequence. First is start with SQL, then move on to statistics, then maths, then Excel, then Power BI Tableau, then machine learning, etc. Okay, so you've been certified, but you don't know how to. Okay, so I think you should work on your resume fine tuning and also look at if you have learned those skills, whether you are actually uh, able to understand, put those projects, in your resume and make sure that, the recruiter also knows that you have those skills. That is important. Other questions? How much scope does the data analysis have? Data analysis will never go out of scope. Okay, it always has scope. This will be there for at least next 15, 20 years. So you don't have to worry about it. Does Coding Ninja help with placements? I can see some of you are having questions. I think I will let Coding Ninjas, answer those questions and help you with it. Just stay with me for 5 more minutes. Let me just, complete uh, what I'm trying to, say, and just then I can answer the questions again. Okay. So I was talking about, and this is important, guys, okay? Which profile should you select? This is very important. I have talked about skills required. Now, the next thing is identify your strengths, and nobody is going to tell you that. Okay. People will say, do this course, do that course. You will also just go blindly and do all these courses. But please select a profile depending on your strengths. If you are somebody who is very good at communication, who is very good at presentation, stakeholder management, understanding the business, presenting, a story, connecting the dots. I think business analyst is a very good profile for you. If you're somebody who is a little bit of an introvert, doesn't like talking to people, just likes coding all the time, data analyst is more suitable for you. So identify what your strengths are and then choose the profile that you want to go with, because then it will be targeted. You know what skills you're targeting. You will be able to hone those skills and then make a greater impact in the resume, in your job interviews, whatever, wherever you go, if you align with your strengths. If you're somebody who is just doing this because there's more money in data analyst, trust me, there's nothing like more money. Wherever there is more money, I tell you, there is more money. More money is in big data engineer. If you really want to go with more money, you could basically do a data engineer and become big data engineer. It's not about more money or not. It's about whether the profile is aligned with the area of your interest or not. And it makes a huge difference whether you will be successful in the field or not. So identify your strengths first and then upskill yourself accordingly. Please try to understand what you are interested in, and of course then you have to practice. So you can practice via different ways. You can pick up projects from Kaggle and all. Coding Ninjas will give you so many projects that you can put on your resume, which will be, different from what is available on Google, etc., right? So that will differentiate you. Data analyst versus business analyst, I have already covered. Data analyst is a little bit too technical. Business analyst, you can have technical, semi-technical, visualization side of things, domain side of things, visualization side of things, presentation side of things, stakeholder management, all that will fall. Project management in some capacity is part of your business analyst. Okay, so if you are in a non-tech role, I think this is where you had a lot of questions, everybody. If you're in a non-tech role, where do you begin? The first thing that you should do is start learning SQL. Okay, the first thing you need to do is SQL. Okay, then you should learn statistics and maths. Then you should learn Excel. Okay, advanced level of Excel. Then you should learn what? Power BI or Tableau. Okay. Then you should learn machine learning. Then you should learn cloud. Okay, then you can, follow any format. So this is how a step by step, upgradation and process will look like if you are somebody who is in the non-tech role. Now, all this, the moment you start after SQL, whatever you do, here immediately your Python begins. Okay, so whatever you do in statistics, you should be able to do in Python. Your concepts of math, you should be able to apply in Python. Excel, whatever formulas you're using, you should be able to do in Python. Power BI, Tableau visualization also you can do in Python. Machine learning, of course, you will do in Python. So Python will be required across. The moment you are done with SQL, you will start working on Python. Where do you see data analytics after 10 years? It will still be there. So, you already have Gen AI, it will get even more advanced. You will have more advanced versions of AI, more complicated data analysis, more automated data analysis, right? And of course, it will have a lot of scope because we are generating data at a huge capacity. There will be a lot of demand for big data engineers because the amount of data that we are generating now, somebody has to process all that data and make sense out of that data. So processing, big data engineers will do, analysis, data analyst will do. Okay, understand, making the business understand, business analytics will do, business analytics people. So all of the profiles have a serious use in the next 10 years, and that is how data analytics will evolve. We'll also look at a lot of quantum machine learning in the next few years. That is, of course, my prediction, because data is growing and we are processing data, it's taking a long time. We have to reduce that time, and hence quantum is also something that will be there. Okay, recent, Gaurav, I hope that answers your question. Rachna is saying, I'm a recent graduate, completed data science course. Okay, not getting shortlisted. If you're not getting shortlisted, first, skill gap. Okay, see if you're all having all these skills necessary. Second is resume. Two things. Uh, 3 decades of strategy experience, pursuing PhD, love data. What sort of profile should I prepare for, Prashant? Okay, I think you should go into the research side of things, Prashant. There are opportunities where you're into the research, especially if you're doing PhD. I think traditional data analyst, business analyst is good, but something related with the data, and especially R&D profile in data would be something which is suitable for you. Okay. Master's degree is preferred, but not important for entry level roles. Okay. Okay, great. So I think I have pretty much covered what I wanted to cover. Okay, let me just give me 1 minute. I will definitely conclude. Okay, this is my LinkedIn ID. Thank you so much for attending the session. But before you go, okay, hold on. There are a lot of queries about how coding ninjas can help you. So please, if you have already put it on the form, well and good. But let coding ninjas tell you what